Nazi harborers.
Guys, you're both right.
The mighty Brazilian squad features the greatest master of the fake injury soccer has ever known, El Divo. Will it be a German blitzkrieg or a Brazilian waxing? Nazis!
Nazi harborers.
Guys, you're both right.
Tudo bom? Estamos aí, né, com mais esse vídeo aí. Vamos comentar sobre essa manipulação que há entre as Copas. Há provas irrefutáveis que essa Copa de 2014 foi uma manipulação. Foi totalmente manipulada, todo mundo percebeu. E os CEOs, eles conseguiram, entre aspas aí, né, como se diz, prever exatamente passo a passo da Copa. É até para ser cômico, se não fosse triste e trágico. Mas isso é uma verdade. Mais uma vez aí esses líderes mundiais mostram para nós que realmente eles sabem tudo, passo a passo, que está por detrás, e eles planejam tudo isso para nós. Infelizmente, é o que se passa, né, no nosso mundo real. Enquanto a gente fica preso a essa caixa que eles montaram, esse cercadinho para nós, principalmente nós brasileiros, mas que é mundial, que o futebol é uma caixa para aprisionar as massas, existem provas irrefutáveis, FBI com documentos e processos já praticamente alicerçados que essa Copa de 2014 foi completamente vendida e manipulada. Não só essa Copa, como vários outros jogos. Então, infelizmente, estamos presos nessa matrix, mas estamos aí para comentar e tentar dissertar e destrinchar todos esses fatos que nos rodeiam, que as pessoas deixam passar despercebido. Estamos aí, galera. Vamos lá.
Is one of the greatest metaphors ever. Machines invented to make human life easier end up enslaving humanity. This is the most common theme in dystopian science fiction. Why is this fear so universal, so compelling? Is it because we really believe that our toaster and our notebook will end up as our mechanical overlords? Of course not. This is not a future that we fear, but a past that we are already living. Supposedly, governments were invented to make human life easier and safer. But governments always end up enslaving humanity. That which we create to, quote, serve us, ends up ruling us. The US government, by and for the people, now imprisons millions, takes half the national income by force, overregulates, punishes, tortures, slaughters foreigners, invades countries, overthrows governments, imposes 700 imperialistic bases overseas, inflates the currency, and crushes future generations with massive debts. That which we create to serve us ends up ruling us. The problem with the state as servant thesis is that it is historically completely false, both empirically and logically. The idea that states were voluntarily invented by citizens to enhance their own security is utterly untrue. The earliest governments and empires were in fact a ruling class of slave hunters who understood that because human beings could produce more than they consumed, they were worth hunting, capturing, breaking in, and owning. The earliest Egyptian and Chinese empires were, in reality, human farms, where people were hunted, captured, domesticated, and owned like any other form of livestock. Due to technological and methodological improvements, the slaves produced enough excess that the labor involved in capturing and keeping them represented only a small subset of their total productivity. The ruling class, the farmers, kept a large portion of that excess while handing out gifts and payments to the brutalizing class, the police, slave hunters, and general sadists, and the propagandizing class, the priests, intellectuals, and artists. When cows are placed in very confining stalls, they beat their heads against the walls, resulting in injuries and infections. Thus farmers now give them more room, not because they want to set their cows free, but rather because they want greater productivity and lower costs. The next stop after free range is not freedom. The rise of state capitalism in the 19th century was actually the rise of free range serfdom. Additional liberties were granted to the human livestock not with the goal of setting them free, but rather with the goal of increasing their productivity. Of course, intellectuals, artists, and priests were, and are, well paid to conceal this reality. Depression and despair begin to spread as the reality of being owned sets in for the general population. The solution to this is additional propaganda, antidepressant medications, superstition, wars. It is immoral and irrational to treat human beings as livestock. Government schools are indoctrination pens for livestock. They train children to, quote, love the farm and to fear true freedom and independence. If slavery is a choice, then I choose not to be a slave. This is the most frightening statement for the ruling classes, which is why they train their slaves to attack anyone who dares speak it. Statism is an excuse for violence. A religion is pimped out superstition, designed to drug children with fears that they will endlessly pay to have, quote, alleviated. Nationalism is pimped out bigotry, designed to provoke a Stockholm syndrome in the livestock. The opposite of superstition is not another superstition, but the truth. The opposite of ideology is not a different ideology, but clear evidence and rational principles. Reason and courage will set us free. You do not have to be livestock. Take the red pill. Wake up.
Vocês que curtiram o vídeo aí, muito obrigado pela atenção aí. Que vocês possam compartilhar com as pessoas perto de vocês, algum familiar, com algum colega mais próximo, até mesmo nos seus grupos de WhatsApp. Vocês possam me ajudar aí a crescer o canal. Se inscreva no canal, deixa o like, deixa o joinha. Estamos aí juntos nessa batalha aí para conseguir aprender um pouco mais, crescermos como pessoa e estamos mais perto de Deus, mais perto do Criador. Acredito que é isso que Ele quer de nós, que possamos nos juntar e dar mais informações para as pessoas, mesmo que nós sabemos que não somos o dono da verdade, a verdade absoluta não é nossa. Se vocês gostaram, guardem, se não gostaram, apenas relevem, mas deixa o joinha aí, indique para os seus amigos e familiares o vídeo. Obrigadão, galera, valeu, tamo junto, é nóis.
Reason and courage will set us free.